Now, communities affected by flooding remain at risk today as river levels threaten to breach flood barriers in parts of the UK.
There are 6 severe flood warnings in place, and the Environment Agency says levels in the River Wye and Severn will remain especially high.
We can speak now to Tim Moffat, who is in South Wales at the Wye Bridge for us. Morning to you, Tim. And we know roughly around this time of day the waters are expected to peak.
Indeed, yeah, good morning to you from Wye Bridge, as you say. Now, typically this bridge connects Monmouth to Wysham, the village over there, but as you can see, it is blocked off. And the reason, let's have a look round here, the sheer volume of water. Yesterday, the River Wye here in Monmouth reached its highest level ever, and more than 7 metres. And they're simply concerned about the safety of this bridge. The sheer volume of water pushing itself up against it. It means it's closed to both traffic and passengers. Now, residents here have also been urged to stock up on bottled water. That's because a nearby water treatment plant was flooded, and it's thought that that could potentially threaten supplies of drinking water over the next few days. So people are urged to cut back on water if they can and to buy some bottled water instead. But really huge levels of disruption here. The Welsh Government yesterday said £10 million would be made available to those who've been affected by the floods. They say at least 800 homes and businesses have been caught up in this. People have been evacuated, but that number is surely expected to rise. So big levels of disruption here, and for the time being, yes, Monmouth is trying to work its way around the effect of the storm and the high levels of water.
Tim, thanks very much indeed.
Communities affected by flooding remain at risk today as river levels threaten to breach flood barriers in parts of the UK.
There are 6 severe flood warnings in place, and the Environment Agency says levels in the rivers Wye and Severn will remain especially high.
And let's speak to Tim Moffat now. He's in South Wales at the Wye Bridge for us. Tim, what's the situation there this morning?
Yeah, well, good morning to you. Well, the river levels here are now at about 5.91 metres, we understand, this morning. So they've come down slightly from what they were yesterday here in Monmouth, which was more than 7 metres. Now, compare that to typically at this time of year, you'd expect to be about 2.5 to 3 metres, so almost twice as high as normally expected. The results of that, well, this bridge, the Wye Bridge, has been closed to both pedestrians and traffic. So that means that the village of Wysham, which is over the other side, is cut off from Monmouth. And you can hopefully see from our aerial shot here that this river now really is blocked those people who are over there from coming over here as well. And just watching the level of water cascading through this bridge is really quite extraordinary. Now, a nearby water treatment plant was flooded yesterday, and that means that residents have been encouraged to buy bottled water because there are fears that the supplies of drinking water might be affected by that. So really a lot of disruption here in Monmouth today. The Welsh Government yesterday pledged around £10 million to help those affected by the floods. They say at least 800 homes and businesses have been caught up in this, but we really do expect that figure to rise.
Tim, for the moment, thank you.
Now, homes across parts of the UK remain at risk this morning as river levels threaten to breach flood barriers following Storm Dennis.
The Environment Agency has warned that levels of the River Wye and Severn will be especially high into the weekend after both broke records earlier this week.
Tim Moffat is by the River Wye in Wales for us this morning and can give us the very latest. Tim, I know high water was due in the last few hours. What's the situation?
Yeah, good morning from Monmouth, and as you say, the waters have been very high. Yesterday, the River Wye reached record levels above 7 metres. It's just below 6 metres this morning, but my goodness, the volume of water coming through here is absolutely extraordinary. Now, take a look at our top shot this morning, and you might be able to make out a caravan park which was evacuated yesterday. Many homes, many businesses have been affected by this. Let's have a quick chat to Jeremy Parr. You're from Natural Resources Wales, aren't you? The Welsh equivalent of the Environment Agency in England, and you're the head of flood risk management. Ever seen anything like this?
Oh, this is exceptional amounts of water that we've seen across large parts of Wales and the UK too, across the whole of the country. So here in Monmouth, the water level here is 70 centimetres higher than it's ever been on record. Parts of the town were defended, and those defences helped prevent flooding, but other parts of the town, on the other side of the river, caravan park there, people had to be evacuated. So what we've got here in Monmouth with the River Wye, it's a river that rises really slowly and goes down really slowly, so this is the effects of the rainfall from the weekend. Other parts of Wales, the rivers go up really quickly and down quickly, so that the Taff Valley in particular, that's where we saw the worst of the flooding in Wales. So
looking ahead then, what can be done to prevent things like this, if anything?
Well, it's a combination of things. This is exceptional amounts of water. All the predictions from climate change scientists, we're going to see more of this sort of thing. There's no one easy answer. It's a whole range of things. Defences have their place. We need to look at ways in which we can possibly make communities more resilient. That means, building properties which you maybe accept that there's going to be flooding from time to time. That's not a particularly good thing, but that's the sort of thing that we need to look at. Look at also in ways in which we can hold back water in catchments, but these amounts of water, it's really very challenging indeed.
Did you sadly think that there's not much that can be done? People are just going to have to somehow learn to live with this.
Well, there's an element of learning to live with flooding, and then this is a societal question. This is about land use, this is about where we put homes and properties, it's about planning for the future, and what we've got to do really is really have some of these difficult conversations about what we do in communities that are at risk of flooding, because the risk is there.
Now, this bridge has been closed off, hasn't it, to pedestrians and traffic, so there is actually a concern that this bridge could collapse.
Yeah, the bridge has been closed for a couple of days now, so we work with the emergency services and the local authorities, sharing that information about what's likely to happen with the river. It's closed on a precautionary basis to stop people going across it, and for safety reasons, because of the immense amounts of water and the force of that water.
Jeremy, thanks ever so much indeed. Best of luck. I appreciate you're a very busy man, and there's so many things to think about and to digest, aren't there? Thank you very much indeed, Jeremy. Let's have another quick look around here, because as you can see, as the water makes its way down, yesterday it turned out that a water treatment plant close to here was flooded, and that means that local residents here have been encouraged to buy bottled water, because there is a fear that drinking water supplies might be affected. So many things to worry about, but for now we'll catch up on what's going on across the country. Flooding isn't just here in Monmouth, of course. Here is the latest news, weather and the travel where you are watching Breakfast this morning.